Hello, brothers and sisters. How y'all doing? We got a special episode of the Black Financial Initiative, aka BFI. We want to thank all the initiators for listening to us. Today we're doing the Money Madness episode. This is our second year in a row. We're doing the Money Madness episode. Last year we had some controversy on the winner.
Hold on, what? No, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna pull a Kanye. I'm gonna let you finish. After this, I got some words.
Okay, Taylor Swift.
Controversy.
Okay, but last year we only had one judge, and Eric. I don't know. Terrence is talking about paying under the table and sending checks and stuff. So we're gonna try to make it a little more official this time. So we brought in two of our friends, two contributors to the podcast. Corey, he's already been on the podcast before. He's in the financial industry. So we want to thank Corey for being here. Julian, he's one of the episodes a lot of people liked was the Julian, what episode was that you gave us the idea on?
I think it was that you have to move jobs every year.
Yes, the great migration, or the great, not migration, excuse me. The great
in your history books, huh?
Yeah, exactly. The great resignation. A lot of people say they like great resignation. So Julian contributed to that. So we want to thank the two judges. It's going to be them two judging with me as a moderator and judge. We have coming in here Terrence, aka T. We got Eric, aka E. Like I said, Terrence was the winner last year, so he's gonna have to defend his title. He's going against E this year. And give me 1 second here. I got something special for you guys. Hold up.
Terrence, Bomaye. Terrence,
Yo, you just
Bomaye.
saw that. I was about to say that.
Terrence, Bomaye.
The winner will receive this championship belt right here.
That's gonna look good.
Ooh.
So the winner is gonna have this championship belt here. So the stakes are even higher this time. So everybody,
you get the check in the mail, right?
Hey, I already picked out a spot on my wall for the belt.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, we already had the belt size.
No, I don't like the way this is going here. I tell you, I don't like Larry's introduction. He's like, we want to make it more official this year. See, he's taking away from you as the champ. See,
I exactly. I know.
And then on the low, he was like, oh, let's invite Corey and Julian. And I'm thinking like, oh, cool. But now I see what's going on now.
Hey,
exactly.
I reviewed the tape and I thought I won last time. Hey, all the listeners, please. What we're gonna do when we drop this episode on the Instagram and Twitter, we got a Twitter now. Please vote. Let us know who you think you won, Eric or Terrence. We're gonna ask 3 questions. At the end, we're gonna tally up the votes, like I said, between me, Corey, and Eric, and the winner is gonna win that championship belt and the 2022 March or Money Madness winner. So
hey Larry, what's y'all's Twitter handle? I think the people need to know.
There you go. Just type in Black Financial Initiative. The Twitter handle, is that correct?
Man, why you put me on the spot, Julie?
I
just created it like the other day, man.
The Instagram is Black Financial Initiative. We just got a Twitter here very recently.
Julian got me over here looking bad, man. Now I got to pull out my phone. I don't even know how to work Twitter yet, but give me time. Give me time.
You know what? I'm gonna help y'all out. It's BFI_podcast.
That's what I thought it was. I would have left out the underscore if I repeated it though. So I'm glad you took over those duties.
See, I'm gonna need some type of executive producer title.
That's an initiator. He's paying attention to a pod.
Right,
like
initiator. That's right. Yeah, one of the main initiators. So we're gonna go ahead and get it going. I think the first question is gonna be for Corey.
Right. Well, fellas, good luck. First question I have.
I don't need it.
Hey, you gotta come with it today, Eric. You gotta come with it today, then.
Hey, no interrupting the judges. Okay, no interrupting judges. Okay, none of that going on. All right, go ahead.
First of all, where are y'all?
Okay, yes. So we are at.
And why not there?
We are at the Wild Cigar. This is in Burleson. This is out here in the middle of nowhere. as far as I'm concerned.
This is Burleson, Texas. It's a suburb of just south of Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, so it's our first time doing it in a studio. So we want to give a shout out to Taylor, which is Terrence's wife. She found this place, and it's a cigar lounge with a studio for podcasting. So it's a very good setup. We're gonna have a YouTube, and we're gonna put this on a YouTube. So the podcasting, it may not make that big a difference, but on the YouTube, it's gonna look nice. So we want to thank Taylor for that for sure.
Yeah, she's in cahoots with you guys for trying to dethrone me, trying to take me out my element.
Yeah.
I understand. I get it. You got to pull out the stops when you're trying to take the champ down. But
so all the people
you can put me wherever you want.
All the people listening on the podcast, if you hear us drinking a little something, that's what's going on right now, or smoking a little bit something, that's what's going on right now. So, like I said, this is a fun. It's gonna be a lot of entertainment, but also gonna be a lot of knowledge drop too. So this is the Money Madness debate episode. So Corey, I feel like Corey's. I'm going to let Corey proceed again.
All right. Well, good luck, fellas. Cheers to y'all. First question I have for you, T and Eric. How much should a household invest? So this could be any type of investment and could be any type of percentages or amount.
Who's going? Who goes
Corey?
first?
You gotta Corey. Come on, Corey.
Talk to me.
Eric?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to pull off this St. Peter's. I'm upset right now. Okay, so household income to invest. Really, before I researched anything, I just said what would probably work for me and the common man. So I said 15% of your income.
I gotta stop you real quick, Eric, because Terrence is the common man.
Oh,
so you can understand.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna let you slide with that. I figured that the audience knew already. So
okay, so yeah, I am the judge and moderator. So I got every time I got to step in every once in a while. But Eric, you can proceed again.
Okay, well, I'll say that's a trash plan for the common man. I intend to upgrade you all to the new phase.
There you go.
So I said 15% of income, which I would say is usually pre-tax income. And for this, I would think the common person, you can do this by doing your 401k at work, is what I would say is probably the easiest, probably the most efficient, easiest thing for you to do. And also, I know 15% sounds like a lot, but also think of a lot of jobs now match a certain percent. So if they match at 6%, you would only have to contribute, 9%? You get the 6% match plus another 3%, that gives you your 15%. So you don't really have to contribute the whole 15 out of your check. Also, if your job doesn't offer a 401k, you may want to consider like a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. One is a pre-tax and one is after tax. Also, I thought about other future investing, and investing is, I think, like a broad term is the way that I was using it. So I would say, think of like life insurance. I think that's another investment. Think about like burial plots or prepaid funeral expenses. That can also be an investment. Health savings account. Odds are you will get sick. The health savings account covers, medical expenses, co-payments, deductibles, all that stuff. And also another thing to think about is maybe, because that's kind of a big thing now, is like cryptocurrencies. Especially if a cryptocurrency is real low, you think it'll do something, a cryptocurrency right now could be like 20 cents per coin. Maybe you buy 100 coins and just see, what happens. It's something relatively low to get into. I'm not saying go out and buy Bitcoin at like 50,000 per coin or anything. Just try to find, there's several coins out there. Just try to find a coin that you can research and look into. It's easy enough to get into. Just hold on to it and see what happens. But that was what I would say. I would say 15%, and to think about other ideas outside of just your 401k or the common investment like that. So that was it for me.
Real quick, if you can just list the ones you said again. I know you said 401k, you said
So
savings.
401k, which I would consider, I say if your job doesn't offer that, you do the traditional IRA or the Roth IRA.
Okay.
And then also to consider other investing techniques, or I would consider them kind of investing like life insurance, prepaid funeral expenses, or like a burial plot, health savings account. I think that's also pre-tax. And then cryptocurrencies. And when I say cryptocurrencies, I'm thinking of like the very cheap low ones right now. You know, they're 20%, 20 cents per coin or 70 cents per coin, you know, not, you know, $5,000, $10,000 a coin, nothing like that. I'm just saying you buy that when it's low right now, hold on to it. You know, you don't know what could happen 5, 10, 15 years down the road. Because it does seem like cryptocurrencies are, it's already a thing, but it seems like it's going to actually, you know, be a thing.
Yeah, something that's we can't deny it anymore.
Right. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
something that that it seems like a lot of people are making money right now.
Exactly. And it's something that I think the average everyday person can afford.
Yeah. Just
you know, like I said, if something's 50 cents a coin, I could throw out 100.
Yeah.
You know, I could throw out $200 and just see what.
And that can make a lot of money over time. If that makes money, you're gonna make money if you put $100 into that.
Exactly.
So, and you said 15%. Is that correct?
Yes, 15%, usually pre-tax. But I would say for those that can't do it, you know, however you can get your 15%. If some may be pre-tax, some after, you know, after tax, I would just say try to stick around 15%. When I was doing a little research, they said 10 to 20 is kind of where they would like you to be. I thought about 15% before I looked at that, and I guess I fell right in the middle.
And that's not just retirement accounts. That's any type of investment, right?
I would think any type of investment. Mostly what they were focused on, or what people normally think of as just retirement accounts, pretty much is what it went to. So it's always like stocks or bonds, something like that. But I think of like life insurance, burial plot. I mean, all those things too are going to add up in the future.
Yep.
You know, for you to be buried, that's going to cost money.
Yes, it is.
You know, that's not cheap.
Man, he being really dark on this episode, talking about burials and stuff.
Hey, I'm just saying, you know,
that's what I'm gonna do to him.
That's like why it's fresh on my mind is I talked to one of my cousins the other day, and he was saying that like his granddad had bought, I guess had the foresight to buy like a burial plot for $300 way back when.
Yeah. And
then like at the time they had to bury, I think the grandmother, it was like selling for $10,000.
Okay.
So, you know, and and he said there's a thing to where you can resell, I guess, burial plots or something. So, I mean, just think of that investment. That was $300, who knows when. Now that same plot is going for $10,000.
So that's a different type of investment, something that most people don't think about.
Right.
But
exactly.
that's over 100% return. I mean, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't have the math in front of me, but that's yeah.
So I mean, like, you know, thinking outside the box of things like that is what I thought, because most of the common people everybody's gonna think of like stocks. When I say investing, go to stocks. But I'm like, hey, these are other ways to do things. Also medical bills.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that people really go into debt about.
Yeah, that's true.
A health savings account would help that. And it's also pre-tax, it helps out. So, you know, think about all these ideas.
When we had the neighborhood finance guy, Lawrence, another initiator of the podcast, that was one of the things he talked about, the health savings account. So I think that's a very good answer. So is that?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. E. I like it.
You know, I'm just trying to.
He coming out strong
out there. You know,
he coming out
with
strong.
a little hook right now.
So we're gonna bring it to Terrence. Terrence, what's your answer?
First off, give E a nice hand there. Nice round of applause, everyone. That was a great job. Great answer, E. I like that. I appreciate it. I appreciate the work that you put into that. And I like it so much. This is a little odd for a debate, but I'm not going to completely disagree with you. I'm not going to say that 15% is bad. As a matter of fact, I agree. I like the 15%. Now, a lot of people would say, and I think this is a little dated, but 10%. And like you said, they say start, 10 to 20. So a lot of people would just go with 10. 10 is a nice round number. But like you, I also think you should be a little bit more aggressive with 15. Now, again, here's a disclaimer that depends on your own situation, your personal financial situations. I don't know if you have a ton of debt or what, and you need to maybe focus more on getting that debt cleared out first. Maybe you have low income, making low wages, and you can't afford to part with 15% on your investment, or at least you don't think you can do that. But I would say once you get to that point where you can comfortably, there we go. We're gonna break that down for you. That's where you can afford to invest. Let's target 15%. And you did a fantastic job hitting on the different ways that you can do that. One, I hate to dismantle you right here on one thing, but I will disagree where you said that you were speaking for the common man and not myself. No, I am speaking for the common man. When you talk about doing cryptocurrencies, listen, bud, I'm not going to say I'm not investing in a little bit of crypto also, but that's less of an investment at this point. I think still it's getting there, but it's still kind of a gamble.
Why is it less of an investment right now? Break it down.
I think that's more speculative.
Okay.
I think that's still early in kind of the infancy of crypto.
So like a gamble almost.
Yeah, it's more of a gamble to me at this point. Now, if you already managed everything else and you run the numbers and you think you're comfortable with doing that and you have a certain amount that you can put into that, then fine, go ahead. And you might have some great payoff later on, because there's been plenty of people that have had great payoffs from it. But we're getting to a point where you don't know how much more that's going to continue to grow. You don't know what laws other governing bodies are putting into play. So you don't know exactly how that's going. Right now, it's still kind of speculative to me. So I would say at this moment, until you've really done your research, if you're looking into something more for investment instead of just a gamble, then focus more on some of the other things that E mentioned. So I'll give you your props there. But like you said, your employer, if your employer offers a return or matching on your 401k or your retirement accounts, also stocks. And as the common man, I'm going to try to have you be a little bit more conservative, because I am speaking to the common man right now. A little bit more conservative. You want to invest in more of some stocks that are maybe a little bit more sustained, have a longer history of performance, of sustained performance. Then that's actual investment. You just can't just say stocks in general. So and those might be a little bit more expensive sometimes, but you can also find some that are a little bit more affordable. You can also find some that have dividends where you're always going to get some type of return on it. So I say yes, bottom line, 15%. If you can target that, I say do target it. And another reason for that, to go with the 15 instead of like I said, a lot of people would say 10%. Why you want to go with
Dave Ramsey would say 10%.
Dave Ramsey said 10%. We spoke on Dave Ramsey before on one of our first episodes, and that's one of that. Now, Dave Ramsey is very conservative.
Yeah,
he's pretty confrontational, I guess, in some way, or I mean, not confrontational, but a lot of people will disagree with him. I'll say that. That's because the people don't like to be as conservative as he is, and he's on a more conservative route, and he's saying the 10%. One of the reasons I would say be a little bit more aggressive, because times have changed. That 10% might be a little bit more dated. We have inflation, which right now is the big topic right now, is how much prices are going up, how much housing prices are going up. I mean,
crazy.
It's crazy. And you want to think about what that might look like by time, let's say you're in your 20s or 30s right now, by time you're in your 60s, maybe if you're in a good spot, 50s, but 70s maybe, by the time you're able to retire, you want to be a little bit more aggressive now in order to get that money that's enough that will help you retire when you get to that age. So this is just something I pulled up on, did a little bit of research, and this is from Investopedia. So this is the rule of 20.
Investopedia, one of the friends of the podcast.
Right. One of the original initiators.
So the rule of 20, the rule requires that for every dollar in income needed in retirement, a retiree should save $20. Let's say you earn about 48,000 in a year, you would need 960,000 by the time you stop working to maintain the same income level afterward. If you had somehow managed to save 10% of that salary of 4,800 per year, that's 400 per month, for 40 years at 6.7% interest, that would get you slightly more than 913,000, which is close, but it's still not at your 960,000. So you're doing 10%. They just did the math for you. I'm not going to say I'm smart enough to do that math. I'm just going to take what they put down here for you. But if you do 10%, that's still not going to get you enough to retire. I mean, it's going to get you close. You can probably manage that. But also, like I said, you have to take into account, like I said, inflation. Right now, everybody's talking about gas prices. So with the rate that things are starting to increase in prices, that's why you want to be a little bit more aggressive, I think, because you're calculating now in a way at trying to get retirement saved up for the future. Well, think about how much things will cost in the future. You retire and you think you have enough to make it out those twilight years, and you're struggling, so you don't want to be in that situation. So agreed, 15%. I want to kind of shift the way we do that. You want to make sure that if you are the coming man, that you want to make sure that you are going with a little bit safer bets. And also, I wanted to just expand on that and give you some reasons on why you want to go with that 15% as opposed to that 10%.
Okay.
You want to do 10%. That's what I'm hearing.
And in a second, I'm gonna let Corey come in, because Corey asked the question, give his his little 10 cents on it. But I think both people had great answers. I don't like both of them had the same answer pretty much though. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
but
since I went first, T copied me.
But one of them was better. So hey.
Well,
thank you. Thank you for acknowledging
and
that.
then we'll decide who's better. I'm interested. I'm gonna ask Corey a question and think, see what he thinks about this, because, like I said, Corey is in the finance industry. One thing is, it seemed like they kind of differed on cryptocurrency, and I don't know how Corey feels about cryptocurrency in this state right now. I think both made good, valid points about cryptocurrency. I would say that might be the main thing that they kind of different on, though. So Corey, what do you think about their answer?
About cryptocurrency?
Well, yeah, cryptocurrency, but in general too, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as cryptocurrency, I'm more kind of in line with T on that one. It is a little speculative. I can definitely see how, like Eric said, hey, for some Bitcoin buying $100 of that, or some of the other coins tossing $50, $100 just to see what happens. I can definitely see both sides of that debate. I'm leaning more with T. It is more speculative. You don't know which coin is going to be the one that's going to take off in a few years. So it is just speculative at this point.
So T, that check in the mail is really working for you.
I see. I started thinking like, Corey, don't do this to me. Don't do that.
Hey, we just bring the facts. See, you messed yourself up when you try to take my title. See, if you just said that you were for the crypto, that's fine. That's fine. But when you said the common man needs to be more conservative with his income. The common man doesn't have all this extra income to go gambling on the crypto at this moment. So I'm speaking for the real common man right here. And Corey understood me. Corey understood our plight and our cause right now. So
Eric, do you have something to say to that?
I'm trying to take the common man to another level.
Okay.
The common man can't be common his whole life.
Hey, no risk, no return, huh?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
No risk and no biscuit.
Yeah, no risk. Okay. Was it Arians?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Tampa Bay.
Brady's
2 years ago. Exactly. Okay, there you go. I like both answers. I'm not gonna give my we're not gonna give our winner for the first answer yet, but I like both answers. So we're gonna go ahead and let Julian ask his question now. Julian, you have to get off mute to ask a question.
Yeah, my bad. I just figured that part out.
He turned into a mime.
My bad. Okay, so here's my question for you guys. You can answer this either as as an individual or as a household. Right. So what's the most important aspect of personal finances? So it can be your income, it can be savings, it can be investing, assets, liabilities, how much debt that you have. So you can take into account all of those things, but what would you say is the most important aspect of that?
We're gonna let Terrence answer that question because Eric answered the first question first.
Oh, I was gonna go first anyway.
Boy, confident boy.
Woo.
The boy is confident today.
Hey, every hero needs a villain. Every story needs a villain. So, but for that question, that's a difficult one. That's pretty loaded. I mean, because you actually need all parts. I'm not gonna cop out. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my answer.
Is that a plea?
I'm not copping out. I'm gonna give you my answer.
We're gonna hold you to an answer. You have to answer this question. You cannot beat around the bush.
Here is the answer. The answer is, I'm gonna say the most important part for a household is your investments. And the reason I say that, I'm gonna start one way though. The reason I say that is because you can go with savings or whatnot. Let me go ahead and dismantle whatever Eric's answer was going to be. You can go with savings, which is very important, but saving is not the same as investing. So people need to get that understood, understand that saving is not the same as investing. When you invest, you expect on there being a return, a growth, some appreciation. That's what the investment is. Saving is just putting it away. Savings is good because you want to have something put away in store to make sure that you are not losing. If you're saving it, you're not losing it. That is great. That's fantastic. You can start out with saving. But in order to improve and get to a point where you can retire, hopefully at an early age, you need to invest because you want there to be a return on that. So let's say if you're going to save, like I said, I don't know what Eric's argument is going to be.
Real quick, we have not discussed anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't know each other's answer. So make that clear.
Like I said, I don't know. I'm just going to dismantle whatever he might try to go with. So I'm trying to cut his supply lines. That's what I'm doing right now. So this is strategy. But
real quick, I want to thank my wife and my little sister. They're here too, helping us here. They got us a charcuterie board.
Oh, shout out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was until last year.
I'm
a coming man.
See, that's that coming man.
I'm a coming man. But I've evolved. I know what it is now. I'm eating it right now.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to get them to. TC, you already taking advantage of it right now.
And also this wonderful board back here.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Shout out to my little sister for doing that. She has her own company, signs, shirts, anything you need. So we want to shout out to Stephanie for that.
Larry, what's her company called?
Yeah, let's plug that.
The company, unconventional what?
He doesn't know a company.
Unconventionally me.
Unconventionally me.
All right.
You on Instagram anywhere?
She does have that's the name of the Instagram. But it's unconventionally me. Is the name of, yeah. Unconventionally me is the name of the Instagram. So if you have any shirts or anything that you want, she can make them for you.
Look at this marketing guy right here. Look at this. Look at that.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Hey, these are commercial. These are technically his commercial breaks. You got to pay the bills.
Right.
And we got to take one for the commercial. Take one for the bills.
I like how y'all wanted to pay the bills in the middle of my argument.
Hey, it's all Larry. I think Larry's a terrible moderator.
Hey, man, we got to pay bills somehow, man. Ain't nobody paying us. Ain't nobody paying us yet. You know what I'm saying?
So we gotta do what we can right now.
I'm sorry, T. Go ahead.
That's all right. Let me hurry up before y'all cut into another one of my arguments.
They
All right, so
fell asleep.
all right, so if you're just saving it, like we've already talked about with inflation, rising costs of everything, you're losing money. Let's say you put $100 away right now and you're not investing it, you're not gonna get anything back from that 100. You pull that 100 out from underneath your mattress 2 years from now, that $100 won't get you the same amount on gas. So that's not doing you justice. That's not doing that $100 justice. You want to put it somewhere where it's going to appreciate. That's what investment is. Investments appreciate. So you want to put it somewhere where it's going to bring you back money to where in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whenever you pull that $100 back out, it's more than 100. You might be getting 200, 300, 400 back. So instead of getting you that full tank of gas right now, look in the future, I might be able to get you 5 tanks. So I got to speak in gas right now because that's the language we speaking right now in today's economy. So we measure things in gas. All right.
Right, measuring by gallons.
Yeah. How much is that burger up there? Oh, that's a quarter tank. So,
Right.
So, and then also as far as investments go, why that's very important and why I'm going to say that's the most important part is because on the counter, you can also do income, which is very important because if you don't work, you don't eat. We all know the saying, and you got to have something coming in. But at the same time, there have been plenty of people. We all know that's somebody, that person that has made something out of nothing. So if you put in the work, you can take whatever little bit of income you have or what you've already had saved up or whatnot, and you can make that into something if you make the right moves, if you have the right game plan in place, and you can get something returning from that. And that's basically an investment. You invest that correctly, you'll get something out of it. So yes, you can go with saving. That's positive. That's fantastic. Yes, you can go with your income. If you have a high income, that's fantastic. But at the same time, we all have heard stories of millionaires that have had fantastic incomes that have gone broke, and you go to bankruptcy or more than bankruptcy, you just broke, period. You know what I'm saying? So income's fantastic, but you have to know what to do with that. And what you need to do with that is invest it appropriately.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, you are saying take that income, which is important.
Yeah.
But invest it so you're not just depending on that income, if that's what I understand what you're saying correctly.
Exactly. So income is very important, but it's not as important, I don't think, as investing in. So a lot of you guys, you might say that is absolutely ridiculous. And the reason, like I said, I will say that why I'm saying that is because people can make something out of nothing. And you can have a ton of income and still go broke and still not be able to retire if you're not investing it correctly. That's why investing is so important, because we all know the story. We've talked about this before, where everyone has seen the 30 for 30 broke, and you have all these athletes that make all this money. You sign $1 million, hundreds, tens of millions, hundreds of $1 million contracts over the course of 10 years, whatever is what they make. And at the end of it, they're broke because they had terrible investments that weren't really investments, they were gambles.
Yeah.
And then the ones that did have it or weren't spending it appropriately, they were just spending, and you still had that income, but you weren't getting anything else to continue to make money as you sleep or make money after your career was over. So that's why I'm going with investments.
And real quick, what I like your answer, T. A couple of things that stood out to me that I liked. You said retiring early. with the income alone and savings alone, you are not going to be, most likely you are not going to be able to retire early. That's one thing that I noticed that you said. But I like that. You didn't use this word, but something you said earlier, I like. Everybody knows I love the word intentional. You described intentional as well, and that's one of my favorite words when it comes to investing is intentional.
No, he didn't say that, Larry.
He didn't say it, but he described it.
For that.
He described it. He didn't say the word intentional, but he described it though. So, and real quick, T, it's gonna look a little bit off script, but investing was your answer. What is an investment that you prefer? I would guess that you might tell the audience that you think. And like I said, we just talked about retire early, but not necessarily retire early, but in general, what is an investment that you think the audience might be able to use?
This is no secret. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I've actually mentioned it already earlier into this exact episode. But I like stocks. Now, all stocks to a certain degree are some type of gamble. All of them are, because no one can say with 100% certainty that this is going to bring you back some money. But you also can have some confidence, or at least a higher degree of confidence in certain stocks. You can look at what the trends are. You can look at what the economy is. You can look at what the laws are. You can see what the trend of what people like and what technology is bringing in. So you can see where it's headed and make an educated guess or educated decision on where you want to invest when it comes to stocks. Also, when you look at what your company is doing, if you have a 401k with your company, basically what they're doing with that 401k with that money, they're investing it in stocks anyway. So you can say that, the 401, your personal retirement is probably going into some type of stocks or a mutual fund anyway that consists of stocks. So it all basically boils down to stocks. So that's why I say stocks. Now, if I say stocks and you go out and invest in your cousin Poo-Poo or Pookie's startup, that's not the same. I didn't tell you to do that. What I'm saying? I said, look at the history, look at the financials, look at their how many years of service they had, and look at what the balance sheets tell you. So if they've been like they're starting up, you don't have anything to go with. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying look at somebody like Coca-Cola that's been around 100 years. You can look at, even if they haven't been around 100 years, but if they have given you at least 10 years of some solid production and getting some good returns, and you see what the market is looking like, then you can be a little bit more comfortable with that. So, and that's why stocks are a great investment, because you have different ways of going about it. You have so many different stocks that you can look at, the up and comers, more speculative, and then you can also go with something that's depending on where you're at in your journey. You're starting out early, you have high income, you have some money to lose, money to burn or whatever, and you feel like you can go with some the crypto or whatever, or you can go with more of a startup stock, or you can go still later in your years if you're like, man, I can't afford to try to gamble on something I'm not sure of. You can go with something that's more established.
Yeah, it sounds like, Terrence, you're more like a blue chip type of.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely,
more of a stalwart, something that's been around, not something that's not more speculative.
Yep, and then also you can go with some of these mutual funds that kind of hedge your bets a little bit more. So if one of those stocks falls or has a little rough patch, it's grouped in with some others that might kind of help cushion that blow a little bit, and you can still beat the market.
Yeah, so some way of diversification. If you have in a mutual fund, you have more than one stock. Okay. So Eric, you heard Terrence's answer.
I heard Terrence and Larry's answer.
Oh, come on now. Hey,
I see Larry giving these assists.
I'm down the middle, straight down the middle. Okay. So Eric, what is your answer?
Okay, look at the time. But I agree. I like that.
Oh, hold on, time out. Y'all can't keep on agreeing on
No,
these answers
we
now.
don't agree. We don't agree. I'm just saying I agree with him. Investing is a key part of it. You know, I like that answer. But for me,
Okay.
I said that I believe it varies by age, basically.
Okay.
And I think it
Okay.
kind of
Variable.
boils down to two things. So I said for the youngins, you know, I'll say like 18 to 30, basically. Mostly it's about income. That's
Okay.
the first thing you start. That's the first thing you can do. The first thing you start to get. You get your job, you start making money. I believe like anything else, the decisions you make in your younger days you're going to realize them in your older days.
Okay.
30, 40, 50, 60s, whatever. Reaching back to our podcast, BFI, look back at Is College Worth It? Look back at those episodes.
Okay.
Look back at those because income is a large part of it. And for that young kid starting off, just head for a high earning job.
Okay.
Once you hit that high earning, we said engineering, that seemed to be everything.
That's
once
the research that you showed Eric earlier, it seemed like engineering was like 10 out of 10 as far as the top 10 places that, or excuse me, the top 10 like degrees that you should maybe pursue.
Right. So, you know, once you pursue those, you're picking a high income earning degree. That's the first thing that'll definitely help with your income. Your income will be high. Also, what that would do would expose you to other people. Because normally in those groups, they're probably all rolling together. If you have a group of accountants, you have a group of marketers, they're probably all vibing off the same thing or probably know certain things.
So you're saying your network might be your net worth.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm getting these assists now, T. Take that.
I'm right down the middle. I'm right down the middle.
We got John Stockton over here.
Right. Exactly.
Assist, you right?
So once you're exposed to those networks, you start to accumulate different ideas and you start to accumulate different ways of accumulating assets.
Okay.
Which is part 2.
Okay.
So now when you probably hitting your 30s and on, you're focusing on assets now because you already got the income, your degree is already set up. I just got to work now. Now I can start focusing on the assets. And as part of these assets, now I'm going to take it to Corey with that accounting background.
Okay.
You start to get your current assets. You already got cash. That's your savings right there. The long-term assets, you start to hit your investing. You get your real estate. You got your stocks. You got your funds. You got your mutual funds. You hit all of that together. Those are all assets. So it's not just investing. You got to have some money to start off with your investing. You can't, nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Okay.
You know, we
I like
all
that.
heard that, you know?
Yeah.
And so once you have that income, you're exposed to these different people, everybody moving and shaking, you find out a few things, then you start to hit your ideas. Okay, I want to get into this. I want to get into that. Also with these jobs, high earning jobs, a lot of them give you stock in their companies.
Okay.
So we're sure like the alphabet boys, like, you know, the Googles, the Facebook, Amazon, all those guys, they give you stock in their company. And those are what, like the blue chips you mentioned, that's the way to get them.
Okay.
So we incorporate all that into these assets. But I'll say in your early days, it's your income. That's the first thing you want to get. Your income is going to make having those assets later much more easier to obtain. And also your network will be huge.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, and first I want to give you points because, you know, real estate is near and dear to my heart.
You know, I have to kick that in there, you know. I don't forget you like T did.
Exactly. So you're already pandering to one of the judges, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you're not giving money out though, but you know.
Well, yeah, you know, I try to keep it above board.
Yeah. But if I understand correctly, you're saying your income for 18 to 30 is going to be more important because if you have a higher income, you can get your net worth is going to might be help you out as far as building your net worth because they're going to be higher income people that you might be able to invest with or social, you know, everything. But and then
you have to start at 30, you know, it may be 25, 27, you know, you get into those things, but just in general.
Just in general. and then you can use your income to invest in assets.
Correct.
Okay. Julian, do you have anything to add to both of the gentlemen's questions or answers?
One thing I think I would have wanted to hear was how does debt also incorporate into your finances as well?
I like that.
I can take
You know,
that.
Say it again.
Yeah, I can answer that for you. So with
Well,
the
see, if
high,
I said, well, hang on, wait. I don't think you can go back because then I gotta let T go back.
oh, okay. Well, hey, you know,
You do it as
Yeah,
well.
we're gonna-
you know,
I'm
I'm coming back anyway, so go ahead.
If he talks, then T gotta talk too.
I was about to get with it.
Okay, all right. So we'll go
Thought
back. to
Kanye
Eric
was
and then
bad.
we'll
Let me
go
jump
back
in
to-
there.
All right, T.
All right, Julian, we'll let you finish. But first, I gotta come in real quick. So if I understand you correctly, you said the income, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Investments, right? And
Yep, let me get
assets.
back to it.
Huh?
Investments
So,
are considered investments are
So when we
amongst
talk
your
about like
assets.
personal, so when we talk about personal finances, we're wrapping it all up into, we're like lumping it all up into one sum. So we're talking about, income, savings, investments, assets, liabilities, or debt. So just kind of like lumping that all in. So what I heard from both of you guys, you both made some really good points about investing, savings. But I also figured, I also thought about that debt also plays a really huge part into whatever your personal finances are. So, investing kind of goes out the window if you still have, a brand new car that you still have to pay for, or you still have outstanding medical bills, or, whatever the case, whatever, your case is. So I always feel like, debt is still like a really big part of, whatever your, personal finances are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready for the response now? Is that what
Let's do it.
Okay. So I understand that the debt is a very important part of that. So thank you for bringing that up, Julian. Great job, sir. But now that's getting more so in a more of the Dave Ramsey kind of school of thinking.
Okay.
So where you basically have to do things in a very linear way. Where like, hey, you complete this step first, then you complete this step, pay off your debt, and then you can go to save, investing, and you can save this much, and then you move to this, and that's fine, that works. But there's other ways that work also. So, and the thing with paying off debt is that yes, it needs to be paid off, but in many situations, I think you still have room to invest while paying off debt simultaneously. Now,
He basically just told me to shut up.
Hey,
Being rude to the
hold on.
judges.
Hey, hold on. So I'm the narrator here now. And we're not gonna be disrespecting the judges now. If Julie asks a question, we're gonna answer the question.
It was a
We're
good
not gonna
answer.
disrespect the judges now. No, Terrence, go ahead.
Okay, my apologies, sir, if that's how you took it.
No.
Okay. But still, what you said is, like I said, that has a place, but there's also a place to invest, and that still can happen simultaneously with paying off debt. Because if you are delaying investing, you're delaying an opportunity to increase your income.
Time in the market is important.
That is very important. So let's say that, hey, I feel like I have to pay off this car first before I can save any money, before I can invest in anything. Well, you're paying off this car, and it takes, let's say it takes you have a 5-year lease or whatever, but you want to pay it off quicker, and you can pay it off in 2 years or
Now,
whatever.
you're saying lease?
Not lease. We don't want to. We're not condoning.
Exactly.
We don't want to go with leases.
I need you to
anyway.
verify that now.
Thank you.
I need you to verify that now.
But your note loan, you want to cut that in half. Great, fantastic, because you save on that interest that you would have been paying on for 5 years, condense it down to 2. That's great. But at the same time, if you're doing that one by one, and you saying that, hey, I just want to cut this down before I even focus or do any type of investments. Let's say right now, a stock you're looking at has dropped as far as how much it costs, and you see it is a perfect window. This stock has been devalued by 30% or whatever, and it's an opportunity for you to get something in on it. It doesn't have to be a lot. Nowadays with technology, and the opportunity for investment is right at your palms, right at your fingertips. You can invest very easily, and it doesn't take much to invest. Like we mentioned crypto earlier, that's speculative, but you don't have to put a lot into it either, because you don't have to do a whole Bitcoin. You can,
like a percentage of
do put $100 in on it and just it's going to be a small percentage of that Bitcoin, but it's still going to grow relative to that percent of it as it increases. So you can still put in something, and if it bounces back on that 30%, you just increased another 30%, which you just would have missed out on. And now if you had invested in it, that extra 30% you just got back in on it, you can put that down on that car, and that's going to help you pay off that payment a little bit sooner. So yes, you can.
I will toast to that one.
I appreciate you, sir. Appreciate it. I'm running a little dry right here, but I have to do some work later. But I'm going to drink this melted ice cube.
All right, so same question to Eric. What does debt fit into your importance of personal finance?
Okay, just starting off, I want to say it sounds like T said he would do a little cryptocurrency there. But yeah, moving on. So in getting that degree, let's just say, parents aren't able or whatever, you don't work in college or anything, you just have to take out loans and get your degree and everything. Because it's a high earning degree, odds are you're probably going to pay it off fairly quick. So I would say that debt, car debt, like he mentioned, you would probably pay those off fairly quickly. On top of, like he said, you could still accumulate assets if you want to. But having that income at that young of an age helps out tremendously. So yeah, you may have some debt, you have student loans, or you got your car or something. You being able to earn as much as those degrees pay would only benefit you, and it would benefit you rapidly. So you could pay down the school loan, or pay off the school loan. You could pay on the car, but you have to have that income in order to do that quickly. If not, you got a 5-year term for a car, you're going to pay it off in 5 years. You don't have the extra money to pay that off early, especially not cutting it in half. The student loans, we know how that is. You don't have the extra money to pay that off early. You just got to ride that out for 10 years, 20 years, whatever the term is. Until those investments, like T said, can accumulate enough wealth to pay that off. Well, what year is that? Year 5, year 20? When you're 50? Like when is that going to happen? But the income, you can get to it quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Julie, have anything else to say for your question?
No, those are great answers. Very well thought out.
I can't let this round finish without. I'm sorry.
Coming back from the dead.
No. I just want to make sure I understood your answers. I'm not making an argument here. Okay, so we're gonna keep it fair. I just want to make sure I completely understand what your argument was. Okay. So you said it's based off of, it's kind of time driven where you're at in life. So you said you want to start out with the income, okay, right? And then was it investments next? Was that next?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I think
assets.
Assets and investments. So your answer kind of reminds me of back when I was in college and you had those hard tests and you go with D, all of the above. So that's I'm just making sure I understood. I thought the intent was for us to give one answer, but I'm just trying to clear it out. But I'm not gonna give an argument. I was just trying to make sure I understood.
Okay, so the narrator has to come in here real quick and because y'all are starting to fight and stuff like that. We don't do that on a BFI. You know what I'm saying?
I just needed some clarification. I needed clarity.
You know what I'm
If
saying?
we, if we,
Go ahead, Eric. You got something to say?
no, I say if we're gonna stick with just one, say I had said it could vary through the time. You can't be mad at me because you didn't choose that. You know, you just said investing.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna rock with one, I'll say income. For our followers, I'll say income.
All right. Both great answers. I think both are great answers. Once again, we're not gonna give our who we think won that round, but I think both very, very valid answers. So I have the last question. Okay. And this one here is I think we're gonna tie everything together here. We've been in podcasts for a little bit over a year. We've researched a lot. We've talked about a lot. We've had like 30 episodes, a lot of information to take in. Hopefully we provided some information that the listeners can use and apply to their financial life. So I'm gonna ask the last question here. From our first season and going to our second season now. And I'm gonna ask, what is one thing you learned that can close the racial wealth gap? This is what we're here about. We know that Black people have the lowest or one of the lower wealth, one of the lower net worths as far as finances go. So that's what we're here for. We're trying to figure out how we can close that gap. So what is one way we can close that from something that we've learned from our, we've talked about before? I believe who answered the last question first? So Eric.
So it's my go, I think.
Yeah, what you got, Eric?
All right. So I had this two phases. One like really applies to me, and the other I say is more so in a group setting. But the first one I say apply to me is the Great Resignation episode. That was pertaining to me more so because I've had the same job for about 10 years where see like you and T have moved around some. And all the research I could find.
I'm about a month into a new one now.
that boy E been faithful.
Right. You know, I've been faithful and loyal out here. And it sounds like that's not what the streets do. You know, so see everything I could find was move in 2 to 3 years, move. And I was like determined to find something. I was like, no, there's gotta be something out there for the loyalists and faithful out here. I couldn't find anything. Everything was like move on. So with moving on, heading back to the income, it increases your income more rapidly than staying faithful or loyal or staying with that one company, through that same time. And so I kind of thought that was that kind of affected me. And I said, that's part of a key is your income to growing the wealth. As a group, I think one of our most important reads was Powernomics.
Okay.
I think that is a big part of the wealth gap. And one thing that I took away from that was his statement of the wealth distribution or the ability to obtain wealth has not changed. It boils down to natural resources, human labor saving machinery or technology, and then information. Those are the ways that wealth are created. And so I think us focusing on those will definitely help us close the wealth gap, and our ownership of those items, I think, is the key to closing the wealth gap. But that's my short and sweet. One applies to me, one applies to us as a group, about how I think we can close the wealth gap.
Okay. Terrence, what's your answer?
Well done, Eric. Well done.
Thank you.
I do have one grievance with that.
Okay.
I wasn't sure at first where you were headed with that because you started out with the should you switch jobs, the episode of a segment we did on the Great Resignation. So I thought that's where you were going. And then you switched up on me and went Powernomics, which is fantastic. I also really appreciated the Powernomics segment we did, and I was probably going to go that route as well. But that's fine. That's perfectly fine. in a spirit of entertainment and this, giving our viewers what they want and what they came here for, I will not agree with you again.
There we go. So we finally have a different answer.
Yeah.
About time. It took 3 questions to get a different answer.
I will, off the top of the dome, you can call me
Freestyle.
yeah, Andre 3K, whatever you want to call me right now. I will go with our tax segments that we have done.
Okay.
Very important, very beneficial
Okay.
to creating wealth. It's not just about creating, that's very important. It's also about keeping that wealth so that you can invest it appropriately. And one of the ways that people do that, especially the rich and the wealthy, is through tax. You can do some tax avoidance, which seems shady when you say avoidance. Like, what are you avoiding? Well, hell, I'm avoiding paying these taxes. So
not tax evasion, tax avoidance.
Avoidance.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going. I'm avoiding it. Hell, because evading sounds shady as hell. But if you want to, and I see how you corrected me on the slide right there. It will not, disrespect will not be tolerated. But it was very impactful, very important as we talk about doing your taxes, because that's where you can save a lot of money. You look at how much you make an hour. I'm talking to the common man, so we're gonna go with just talking about how much you make an hour, and you do the math. You look at what your salary is, and you say that, hey, I should make this much a year, and then you look at each one of your checks, and it's been decreased by 25%, 30%, whatever it may be. And then at the end of the year, and you're trying to look at your W-2 and file your taxes and see how much you're gonna get back, and you get back not nearly as much as what has been taken out. And the reason for that is for taxes. So the rich and the wealthy, the way they can get around that, because the more money you make, the more significant that amount is that goes to taxes. You can save that money and have the opportunity to invest that or save that or do whatever you want with it, or retire early based off of decreasing the amount of taxes that you are being held accountable for. So we had a great episode with Bradford.
He's a CPA and attorney.
CPA and attorney. So the man knows his stuff. All right. So if you get in, he's going to give you tax advice.
He's an initiator.
And fellow initiator, a friend of the podcast. So like I said, CPA and attorney. So if you get into issues, get in a problem with your taxes, then he can back you up because he knows this stuff legally. So, but that's very important, because you spend all this time focused on how you're going to make money. But at the end of the day, if you're giving it away, because that's basically what you're doing, you're giving it away to Uncle Sam, then you feel defeated, deflated, and you're not being able to fully utilize that money anyway. So taxes are very important. I advise and I suggest everyone to go back and listen to those episodes, because that's how you're really going to not just make money, but be able to keep the money that you make. Because if you can't keep it, then what's the point of it anyway? So I would say taxes, our tax episodes.
Yeah. So one of the things that he talked about, and I'm going to read, he said ways to lower your taxable income is real estate, charity, and children. And when we say real estate, we're not necessarily talking about investing, for like investment properties. We're talking about just your own property. I mean, you have your mortgage income that you can, or your mortgage that you can use as a way to lower your taxable income. Different taxes involved with your real estate. So that's one way that taxes can help you. So that's one thing that you learned that you think that the Black community can maybe take more advantage of to lower the racial wealth gap. Is that
definitely. Every year, and at the turn of the new year, everybody's worried about or thinking about taxes. That's what you hear about. And then you see like, oh man, I'm gonna get this much back, or oh, I'm gonna have to pay this much. But you might not be getting as much back as you should have gotten. You might be happy. You might be one of the people that have gotten quite a bit back, but you don't realize how much you could have gotten. And you don't realize you're happy with it only because you don't know how much you should have gotten. And then the ones that are paying, you're already upset. Imagine how upset you would be if you realize that how much less you should have been paying, or if you find out that you should have been getting money back. So that's why it's very important. It's the unknown, I guess basically rule or principle of saving and finances is the taxes. It's not, and it shouldn't be unknown. It's basically out there because you're talking about taxes. We're all just pretty much uneducated on how impactful it is.
Yeah, so all of us have to pay taxes. So it sounds like if we learn how to pay less taxes, that could help out. I would say E and T, both of y'all had virtuosos, as my boy Shannon Sharp would say. A Picasso, a Rembrandt, you know what I'm saying? Some great answers here. So that's the last question we had. And
real quick on the tax thing, I enjoyed those episodes too. Good point, T. I know I mentioned tax evasion and tax avoidance. I want to give y'all the definitions. One is illegal. Tax evasion is an illegal attempt to
have you in
evade
jail.
taxes. Right. That's going to have you in jail. Illegal. Tax avoidance is using the legal laws to get out of it. So it's like Terry mentioned those few items there. Those are ways to lessen your tax burden. So you don't want to evade. That's like not reporting income, stuff like that. You want to avoid.
Great job, sir. Thank you for adding that little bit of information and knowledge to our podcasts there and differentiating the two.
All right.
The
So
BFI podcast wholeheartedly supports tax evasion.
No,
hey,
we do not.
Julian, now we do not we do not support that.
Oh,
What's
no.
The views of Julian do not represent the
do not
views of the
represent
BFI
the
podcast
thoughts
at this
and-
moment.
we do
You
not
know
want
what?
to
Y'all
back
need
in
to
jail.
do Larry, your boys need to do a segment on scammers.
We've talked about it before for sure. That's not
The
something
scammers
we
and
encourage.
We
There's big
support
money in it.
tax
It seems
evasion.
like because everybody's scamming, but we do not encourage that.
We do not support tax evasion. We support tax
Hey,
avoidance.
Sometimes you gotta hit a lick. All right, that's all.
Once again, like Terrence said,
Who brought this guy on?
Right, yeah. Who invited him?
Once again.
Ignore me.
All right. So we've had 3 questions. We're gonna just quickly. So question 1. Corey, you asked question 1. Who is your winner for question 1?
That was a good one. So I think Eric had some good points. T has
What
some
was
good
question
points.
1 again? Can we
I'm
reiterate
gonna
that?
read it real quick. How much should a household invest? This could be any type of investment. It can be a percentage or an amount.
Yeah, so Eric brought up, some good points about that. 15% of the income, traditional IRA, Roth IRA, burial plots, life insurance, things like that. T brought up some good points as well, but did kind of agree with Eric on some of his things. So I will go ahead and give that one to Eric.
Okay, Terrence, Terrence, Julian, for question 1, who did you say won question 1?
I'm gonna say Eric as well. I thought Eric really went into a lot of detail about, what stage of life that you're in. I think that really plays a huge part, and I think it really plays a huge part. Not to say the T answers was bad. I just thought that Eric elaborated on it a little bit more, step by step in terms of like where you are in life.
So Eric ran a Boston on question 1. If you're familiar with that, it means you won everything on question 1. So he won it for me as well, Terrence. I'm sorry. So for me,
Defense was good, but my offense was better.
there you go. Yeah, Eric talked about health savings account.
Gotta give you one.
Talk about 401k, talk about crypto, just some different things out the box. So for question 1, I went with E2, E as well. So question 1, Eric won question 1. So now we're gonna go to question 2. Julian, you asked question 2. Julian, who won question 2? And question 2 for the audience is, what is the most important aspect of personal finance? For example, income, savings, investing, assets, liabilities, etc. Julian, what was your answer?
I got T for that one. I thought T really went into depth about investing and how much it played into a part of your finances. He talked about how, yes, you can save, but that savings is only worth a quarter tank of gas in 10 years. So that really, that kind of really hit home for me, like in today's world. And even when we brought it back around to, how much debt that you're in, he still said, he still supported his argument that, you may still have like all these, all these smaller debts, but you still have room, for financing, but you still have room for investments. And I thought that was a really strong point.
Corey?
Yeah, I have to go with Julian on this one. I give T that round. Eric did have some good points about income and decisions made when you're younger do affect when you get older. So definitely agree with that and accumulating assets. Also, but T did mention the savings versus investments argument. So I will go ahead and give that one to T.
Man, so it's anonymous. I mean, we're on the same page again. So
I'm going T.
I'm going T on question 2 as well. So we're gonna go to the last question. This is what all it comes down to. It's tied up 1-1. I asked question 3. I'm gonna repeat it real quick. From our first season, what is the one thing you learned that can close the racial gap? And I went with T. I think that something that a lot of people don't think about is taxes. All of us have to, well, we're supposed to pay taxes at least, so made that clear. I'm not gonna say everybody pay taxes, but once again, we do not advocate people evading taxes. We want them to not go to jail. I think that's gonna really hurt your income if you're not able to work. So E, you had some great points, a great resonation. I thought that was a very good episode right there. I think it's something we can learn about, increasing your income. And one thing I think E's income is was important to E as far as our debate today. And I agree with E, but I think Empowernomics as well. Empowernomics is more of a group economics theme. But for question 3, I have to go with Terrence when it comes to tax avoidance. I'll go with Julian. Who won question 3?
Now this one was really tough for me. Like I feel like I need to digest it a little bit more and still.
Hey, we're putting you in the spot, man. You gotta make an answer, man. You gotta come up with an answer now.
I know. Look, I'm trying. Like I want to give a direct answer. If you ask me, in my gut, who would I go with? I would definitely go with T on this one, because I definitely feel like as a culture, we don't know all the ins and outs of of taxes and what our loopholes are, and what are some things that we can deduct, and and really when it comes to tax season, that's money that we earned, that we gave, that we had to give to the government over the last year. So again, if you ask me right now, I'm going to say T. Not to say that Eric's question, answer, wasn't a great answer, but I just got T's check in the mail right now.
Yeah, I see your judgment has been clouded.
No, but I'm gonna go with T. I loved his answer on taxes. I definitely feel like that's like a hidden gem that we as Black people, we just look for as, oh, I'm getting the income tax. I'm getting the tax return back. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of things that kind of go into that. Deductions. What actually can you deduct if you're a business owner? Things like that. So I definitely appreciated Terrence's answer on that one.
Corey, you're the tiebreaker. It all comes down to you, Corey. No pressure. Hey, don't take Terrence's check in the mail either.
I won't take it in the mail, but Rick did bring up some good points, definitely about the Powernomics book and how the ability of can change wealth. T also did bring up a great point also about the tax episode, and like Julian said, it is one of the big things with us and our people, it's taxes, and definitely see how that can affect. But I'm looking at my phone right now, and I think the payment just came from T I was already leaning T anyway, so it pains me, but
Oh man.
sorry, Eric, you my boy, but
Y'all some disrespectful friends.
I gotta
Look,
go.
and I've known Eric since I was a kid too, so that pains me.
Oh man.
I gotta go with T.
Okay. So if I'm tallying up the votes, E won question 1. Terrence won question 2. Terrence won question 3. So from what I came up with is Terrence
count.
is the two-time BFI Money Madness winner. And the winner this year,
Thank you, E.
the
Thank
winner
you.
this year is gonna come and get
You weren't a sore loser, so I won't be a sore winner.
this championship belt. Terrence,
I'm disappointed. I was hoping you would be a sore loser, so I could definitely be a sore winner, but I'll hold back this time.
You got to know when to fold them.
all jokes aside, Eric has some great information. It was not easy at all, for real. But Terrence is the winner 2 times in a row, 2021, 2022 champion of the Money Madness. So Terrence, what do you have to say? Take your championship belt.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. Let me put down my score.
He's already smoking his cigar.
Oh man. I'm gonna try to slow this down and be careful with my words because I'm a man of my word. As I just told E, that
I'm not gonna interrupt you. I'm not gonna interrupt you. The greatest of all time.
But as E said, he was not a sore. He gave me my roses. He was not a sore loser. So unfortunately, that means I will not be able to gloat as much as I want to. But as much as this was not a surprise, it still is very much appreciated.
That boy humble, ain't he?
Right. Yeah. Humble.
I cherish this moment. This belt is a long time coming. It's hard to reach the top. It's even harder to stay on top. But this is a testament to not only the hard work, the preparation, but to my support cast, my support system.
I feel like he's going.
My beautiful wife, Taylor at home. I know you're not here to witness and experience this with me, baby, but I'm bringing home the belt, baby. I'm bringing it home. I love you, Ava, my baby out there. I love you. I'm bringing home the belt, baby. So I just want to point out that I'm not going to say the system is rigged because I still was able to win. I was able to overcome. But I want to point out that the same as in our fantasy football league, where when I won 2 years in a row, they did not provide a belt or a trophy. And then the following year, they offered some type of award for that winner. And coincidentally, I did not win. I don't know. That doesn't sit well with me. And then after I won this last year, and was not offered or awarded a belt or trophy or anything.
Can we move this mic now?
So
yeah, y'all created this month.
So I want to point out that they tried to award someone else the belt this year, but I overcame. You know what I'm saying? But hey, great competitor was Larry last year. Great competitor was Eric this year. But and I appreciate him for coming up and being in this competition with me. But in the end,
I'm changing my answer to Eric now.
So anybody
I
who
might need to do the same too.
anybody who at least follows Instagram, please follow Instagram, Black Financial Initiative. They know that I'm a wrestling fan. So I didn't get this championship belt here. And Julian might be the only one who recognized this reference. But hey yo. One time for the bad guy. One time for the bad guy.
One time for the bad guy.
There you go. So Hey, I want to thank. I want to thank Eric and Terrence. Great debate. Dropped some great knowledge. I think something that the listeners can listen to and use in their everyday lives for their investments and their personal finances. We're here about BFI, the Black Financial Initiative. Definitely want to thank Corey. I want to thank Julian for joining and helping us have a more not a one-sided type of winner this time, because I think Eric might have been might have been a little biased last time. So we want to thank them for coming. We want to thank all the listeners. I think this was like I said, a great episode here, great information, some good entertainment. And we want to thank all the initiators. Please go listen to our episodes in the previous, if you haven't listened to them before. Please tell your friends, check out our Black Financial Initiative Instagram, our BFI Twitter. We're gonna have some great information. That's it for me. If you guys have anything else to say.
I do, of course. Come on. Silly
Of course
question.
you guys.
Silly question.
You just might.
So I just want to say, and this is a financial tip for all of our investors out there, do not panic early. The key is not to lose big, but you don't necessarily want to panic early. Like if you're investing stocks and you start to lose a little bit, don't worry, don't panic. So, just trust the process. If you have invested in a blue chip, expect that you should get some return. For example, today in that first question, what was it? The Boston,
Ran to Boston.
Yeah, you said that Eric ran to Boston because he had 3 votes, all for him in favor of that first question. And I didn't panic. You know what I'm saying? So I stayed true to the process. I believed in the process. And
Trust the process.
You trust the process. And in the end, what we have here is this belt. But again, congratulations to my competitor, Eric. Great show, sir. Great.
I can see who the Floyd Mayweather of y'all's podcast is.
You ain't nothing without me, Otis.
Anybody come to see Otis? Hey, but once again, thank you everybody. BFI Money Madness year 2. Terrence is 2-0. I think next year I'm gonna have to come and beat him. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, I want to thank everybody again. And as far as me, that's everything for this episode. So thank all the listeners. Bye.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. Peace out.